All right, gonna tie a fly tonight, and I'm gonna do a fly that is it's a braided fly. I've actually never done one before, so this will be interesting. And I'm on top of that, I'm using found materials, and I'll talk about where I got that. So, if you've ever been to Home Depot and you're shopping in the lumber aisle and you see the 1x3 boards that are real small and thin, and they're not the greatest boards in the world. They're used for, you know, putting on the wall and attaching things. Um, Often they will have this cord that is holding them together. I'm going to switch this over so you can see it. And my wife just got home, so she may pop in and say hello. Let me zoom this in a bit. So, Roger, good to see you watching, man. I hadn't seen you in a long time. I'm actually going to be in Houston, by the way. So this is the stuff. They wrap this around the boards. They do that and tie it, and it holds it all together. And they just cut it off and throw it away. So this one is kind of it's got kind of a gray and a tan and kind of cream color. Sometimes you'll have multicolor, some red, some different kinds of string in it. From that, if you unravel it, you get stuff that looks like this. It looks kind of like cheap Barbie hair. It gets all over the place. So let me put that away. From that, I pulled out some select colors. I've got a tan, two tan ones, a brown, and a couple of gray ones. So this is, I think I'm going to use the tan and the browns. They have contrast. And I've taken that from Fluffy and waxed it so that it stays together a little bit. I've also sealed off the ends and burned them a little bit. So I'm going to use black thread. I'm going to use these my typical hooks that I use, the Walmart Eagle Claw hooks, because I'm cheap and don't buy nice hooks. Although they're fine, they're sharp. They'll poke you and stick in you if you mess with them. So I'm going to start off by tying on my two threads. I could add weight to this if I wanted to. Let me start by threading my hook. I could add weight to this to help it sink better. I don't think it would have a problem sinking because these hooks are kind of heavy. But anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and cover this hook with some thread so that this material will stick better, because this material is slick, and I've made flies before out of like paracord material, and this is very similar, and that stuff just, if you pull on it, it just pulls right out. So the way I'm going to start this, I've got my thread started here and covered up a little bit so it's rough. I'm going to take my two ends side by side. I'm going to lay them over the hook, and I'm just going to start this here. Another thing that I could do, but I'm not going to do this for the sake of time, because it's going to take me a little while to tie, to braid this thing. I'm not going to put in a tail of any kind. I'm going to pull this back and cut off these burned ends so it's not lumpy at the head. If my scissors will cut. There it goes. Okay. Now I should be able to get this to lay down. And that should taper down, and you won't even be able to tell it's there. Just get that covered up a little bit better. So I took the material after I unbraided it. Actually, it's not very hard. If you pull one string, the whole thing just comes apart, because it's not made to stay together. It's just made to hold that wood. So I did that, and then I have my bowstring wax for my bow. So that stuff, Textite bowstring wax. I used that and just rubbed it on here to make sure that it was not all crazy, because it was pretty woolly stuff. So I've got the brown on one side and the tan on the other. Now I'm going to have to reposition this thing so that you can see the braiding. So I'm going to turn this, raise this up, and bring this down towards the camera, and then readjust my camera here a little bit. I'm also going to, I didn't think about that. I'm going to have to reattach this thread, so let me tie this off. I'm just going to put a half hitch in it so that it'll stay and not come undone. I'm going to cut that, and then I'm going to take a little bit of nail polish and dab it over this. This is going to do two things. It's going to help hold that half hitch that I threw on there, and it's going to help the braid hold to the hook. Alright, so now that I've got this is just going to be kind of like if you've made a paracord bracelet, or if you've done macrame. I think it's macrame, where you braid the hemp cord into a bracelet or something. So I'm just going to start by, I go over, under. This is going to be, I've never tied this small for braids, but you just do that. Bring it in. We'll see if this works out. Go under. I might have to cut this one short because this might be a lot longer. This material is not easy to work with. But we'll see. Go under and come through. I could almost use like a knitting needle. Once you get in a rhythm, it'll go fast. Until you get in that rhythm, it can be kind of slow. Slow to start. Just as I thought, my wife is home. And she said she won't interrupt. Thank you, wife. Because you love me. Yeah, this is going to be, it'll still be buggy looking, actually. But, it's going to be a little bit weird. And I don't think it's going to take as long as I thought it was. I am having an idea that I might be able to add a feather on the end. So if you go back and forth on the same side, you get the same color on one side with the same color on the sides. The other color on the sides is a little knots. And if you flip it over, you can make it, instead of being light on the top, it'll be dark. But I can see right here that I did one knot wrong, so I've got a dark color there, and that's fine. Bugs aren't perfect, so I'm trying to make it look buggy. I'm making it look buggy. Okay, pull this through. Tiffany Stone Richter. So when you do this, if you've never done this before, you have your two colors, if you have two colors, and you do one loop over the top, then you come over that tag end with your other color, go under what you're tying around. You could do this around bead chain, and then the beads will show, or you can do it behind another piece of string. But then you just go under and pull it through on that side like that, and then you pull that side through and tighten it. And as long as you always, like I'm using the cream color one on top, so as long as I'm putting the cream color one on top and going under with the brown one, then I'm going to have cream color all the way down this thing. If I had started with brown color on top, then this whole bug would have the brown color on top and with white edges. And I can flip the thing around and show you later. So I'll just show you again. I'll take the cream color and go make a loop and go over the top of the hook. I go over that string, but then I take it under the eye of the hook. I come over here and I'm just giving this some pressure and making it pop up, and it goes through the hole. Pull it through. So I've got that, and I'm going to pull it through to the other side, and that's going to pull this brown string up to the edge, so that, and you see it on this side come to the brown edge there. So it's keeping the tan on top, keeping the brown on the bottom. And so if I was thinking about it, a lot of bugs are lighter color on the bottom. I could have flipped it over, and I could probably still turn this and make it so that it's cream color on the bottom where it's, like a bug is. But for right now, I'm just trying to get this done in a timely manner so that everybody's not just waiting for me to finish braiding this thing. So I'm just going to go back and forth and make a couple of more knots here. Now, if I was making a paracord bracelet, every time I did this, I would shove those knots further up. But in this case, I'm getting a good segmentation here, and it looks like a bug. So that's kind of cool. And this material is actually not too bad to tie with. For found material, it's pretty cool. So I've seen this before, and I've thought about using it as a bracelet, just the way that I find it. But this time when I picked it up off the floor when I was cleaning, I picked it up and it kind of came apart, and I looked at it and I thought, oh, that's cool looking thread. I think I'll take it home and tie with it, because now I'm always looking for stuff to tie with. So I'm going to finish this by doing a half hitch there and a half hitch here, and all you do is you cross it, put that around, put it over. Now I'm going to snip these. Hopefully that stays together. I'm not going to put any pressure on it. These scissors are terrible. Okay. These are sewing scissors. Or no, these are beard trimming scissors. I've got beard trimming scissors. I've got sewing scissors. I've got all kinds of scissors. Alright, I'm going to put a little bit of this nail polish on the end to help hold it for a second. until I get some thread on it. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and finish it without adding the feather. So I'm going to have to readjust here again. I'm just going to move this over. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Turn that like that. And lower this. Sorry. You can see it again. It's really down there. Okay. High-tech camera equipment here. Alright, so earlier I cut off my thread, my black thread. Now, just like I did earlier when I started the thing, I'm going to hold my tag end. I'm just going to come in here and start wrapping over it so that it'll hold down. And I'm going to go back into my braid a little bit. And make some turns, and you see I'm turning into that nail polish. And if I get good coverage, I have a nice shiny head there. Cut off this tag piece. Get my whip finishing tool. Make several turns. So a lot of people use, I say this in all my videos, or most of them, a lot of people will use something like super glue to finish off their flies. I have always used, because it doesn't smell as bad, I guess, I've always used fingernail polish, just regular, $3, $4 for a bottle at Target or something. Fingernail polish, and I never have the issue of the head coming untied. That's never a problem, so that's a good thing. And that's it. That's my fly. So that's something I've never done before. I've never done the braid. I've seen it. I've seen some really cool ones, but that is the braided fly. So now I'm going to turn it over a little bit and show you the underbelly real quick, because like I said, you end up with the cream color on top, and you can see it's kind of almost like a green brown, but you can see it, the little knots right here, and you can see the one that I messed up and did it backwards. But if I turn it, you see the darker color, and you can really see the one that I messed up on there, where I went out of order on the knots. So if you do like I said, where you always keep one color on top and the other color on bottom, then it will always stay the same on the sides. The color will be the same on the sides. But if you switch it, you end up going in a circle, and you'll see the knots come around the circle, around whatever you're tying around. So anyway, so I don't know if that'll catch anything. It kind of looks like a maggot or a worm or something, and especially I think if I did it on down the curve, or if I did it on a curved hook, it would look even better. Up that close it looks pretty rough, but you zoom it out some and just look at that. If it was on the end of a fishing line, maybe a fish would think it's a bug and eat it. And I would imagine you could also put something sticking out of the sides if you're good enough to do that, or like I said, if you wanted to put a little tail. And actually this material right here, this found material, the cut end, I can find a piece that's cut. If I tied that on, you have a little fluff on the end that would look kind of cool. So anyway, that's that. So my wife is home. I'm gonna go and eat. We're gonna go make our plates. Yeah, that would be cool. So thanks for watching. Those that watched, good to see some people I haven't seen in a while. Still haven't seen you, but got to check in with you a little bit. And have a blessed evening. Good night.